Avengers Infinity War is an emotional roller coaster. If you've seen this movie already, then you know that that's the truth. I saw it at the world premiere on Monday night, and then I saw it again opening night, Friday night, and I still haven't fully processed it. There are 10 emotional scenes in Avengers Infinity War that really stuck out to me, so let's talk about them. And guys, there's spoilers ahead. If you haven't already seen the movie and you don't want spoilers, stop watching now and come back after you've seen it. I'm Tessa with mamasgeeky.com. So here are my top 10 emotional scenes in Avengers Infinity War. I'm trying to do these scenes kind of in order of how you see them in the film so that it makes sense. These are not in the order of how emotional they were for me. Number 10, the opening scene. Guys, Marvel is not playing around with this one, okay? They open up the movie with basically the decimation of all the Asgardians that are left, which, by the way, isn't even all of them to begin with. At first, I was terrified for Thor's life, and then Heimdall dies. But that's not even it, okay? The first time I cried watching this movie was as I watched Loki choke to death. I mean, choke to death, okay? I love Loki. I mean, he's the god of mischief. How can you not love him? Because he actually really cares about his brother and his father and his family. You know he does. He puts on a strong face, but he really does care about them. I mean, he could have let Thor die, and he didn't. But watching him be choked to death, that was hard, guys. That was really, really hard. And I've seen a few people say they think that scene went on a little long, but I think it was perfect. I mean, Loki deserved an admiral death like that. Number 9, Gamora and Star-Lord. Guys, there has never been a better love story than Gamora and Star-Lord. Clearly, I kind of have a thing for them, okay? I love Gamora and Star-Lord together. Love them together. When they were on the ship on the way to nowhere and Gamora basically tells Star-Lord that he needs to swear on his mother and kill her if Thanos gets a hold of her, that's when I knew something like that was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen, and I was like, nope, I'm not ready. I can't do it. I don't want to see it. I'm not ready. And then when they get there, oh my gosh, he had to do it. And then, because of the reality stone, Thanos just turns the bullets into bubbles, and he doesn't even kill her. Oh my god, it was awful. And when Gamora tells Star-Lord she loves him, for me that was like huge, because they always said it was an unspoken thing. No, it's not an unspoken thing. Like, she was kind of always the one backing off where he was moving forward, and when she happened to be the first person to say I love you and he said I love you too, whew, guys, it was emotional. Number 8, Thanos torturing Nebula. I adore Nebula, okay? All she wants is a sister. That's all she wants from Gamora is her sister's love. And I mean, she does get it, but man, when Gamora's watching Thanos torture her and she gives up the location of the Soul Stone to save her sister, that shows just how much she really truly loves her sister. In doing so, Gamora's essentially sacrificing herself. She's basically sacrificing her life, as we see, for the life of her sisters. Number 7, when Thanos kills Gamora. Guys, this might have been one of the most emotional scenes I've ever seen in a movie, okay? When you see that she realizes he's going to kill her, when you see that in her eyes, oh my god, it broke my heart, okay? As soon as they said you had to sacrifice a soul for a soul, I knew it was going to be Gamora. And she's laughing, thinking he doesn't love anyone like that. Oh, Gamora, he calls you little one. Like, he loves you so much. And it's crazy because he's a mad titan and he's banana pants. And I do not like Thanos. But at the same time, I mean, he thinks he's doing this for mercy. He really, truly believes in what he's doing. He doesn't think it's torture. I mean, he wants to do it with the Infinity Stones because he wants to make it painless, right? I believe he says that in the movie. Actually, I know he does. Can't remember who he says it to. But he says, listen, if I snap my fingers, like, and they disappear, it's gonna be, that will be mercy, right? It will be painless. And so when Gamora thinks, the universe has told you, no, you will not get the Soul Stone because you do not love anyone enough to sacrifice. You don't have a soul of someone that you love to sacrifice. And she's standing right there with him. And he starts to cry, okay? And I'm like, oh God, like I knew it, but I really, really hoped I was wrong. Like, oh good, movie over, great, let's be done with it, I'm good. But no, he drags her. I mean, he literally drags her and throws her over the cliff. All I could picture when he's pulling her hands like that and dragging her is when she was a little girl and he was on her planet and held her hand to walk her off the planet. I can't, guys. I can't. I can't. Even the second time seeing it, I sobbed like a little baby during that scene. I am holding back tears right now, guys, because that part is one of the most emotional moments I've ever seen in a movie, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, I do have a soft spot for the Guardians, obviously, okay? You'll notice a lot of my emotional moments are the Guardians, but I just, I can't. I gotta stop thinking about it. But yes, okay, when Thanos kills Gamora, that's up there. Number 6, when Star-Lord realizes that Gamora is dead. Oh my gosh, guys. The Avengers, they were so close. The Avengers and the Guardians together, okay, were so close in getting the Infinity Gauntlet away from Thanos. So close. And Peter Quill, Star-Lord, just could not handle the fact that Gamora had died. When he's asking where's Gamora, and Mantis is like, he's in anguish, he mourns, and they're like, what does he have to mourn? And Nebula's like, oh my God, he went to get the Soul Stone, he came back with the Soul Stone, Gamora did not come back. When you see in Star-Lord's eyes that he realizes it, and he's like, you did not have to do that. Thanos is like, I had to, and it's just, gosh, it's horrible. It's horrible. Star-Lord has finally gotten, his love, right? And the poor guy has had to watch his mother die when he was a kid. He had to then find his father, which had to have been such a high for him, okay? Then he had to find out that his father killed his mother, and then he had to kill his father. I mean, now he finds out that his love has died. I mean, it is just, the poor guy has gone through way too much, okay? So much. And I don't blame him for slapping Thanos. And I mean, unfortunately, it kind of ruined their plans and it knocked Mantis off. And obviously to, move the movie forward, it had to happen. But man, that whole scene, even the second time watching it, going into it, I knew what was going to happen, obviously. And I'm like, oh my God. I can't watch him go through this again. I can't watch him discover this again. Oh, it breaks my heart for poor Peter Quill. It really does. Number 5, when Thanos stabs Iron Man. I've been Team Iron Man forever. I mean, Team Iron Man, come on, guys. I'm totally Team Iron Man. And this moment, guys, I thought he was a goner. Okay, it was a little easier to go through the second time because I knew he wasn't going to die. But the first time, I literally screamed no, okay, at the world premiere, in a room with the cast and the filmmakers. Literally out of my mouth was, no! And I probably sat like that sobbing. I mean, my friend next to me, she had to start rubbing my back. I was a mess. I was an absolute mess. I couldn't believe it. I was like, please guys, no, not Tony Stark. Like, he can't die. He can't die. And especially die like this, okay? He's going to get married to Pepper. They're going to have kids. Like, no, not ready for this, okay? Luckily, Doctor Strange gives up the stone in order to save Tony's life. Saying it's the only way, fingers crossed, this is probably the one success that he saw when he checked all his futures. But guys, I just it's awful. It's awful. Even the second time, like I said, I still cried. I was still a mess about it, even though I knew he was gonna be fine. It's so horrible, but fantastic, but horrible, super emotional scene. Number 4, when Scarlet Witch kills Vision. Guys, I assumed this was going to happen when Vision brought up that they would have to destroy it, and I know they ended up going to Wakanda to try to find another way, but I had a feeling no matter what, I don't know, I was rooting for Shuri. I was like, come on, get it done, but she said it was going to take a long time. There was so many factors. I just knew, oh gosh, I just knew it, and I was like, I hope I'm wrong. And then when finally it gets to the moment when he's like, it shouldn't be you, but you have to do it, and he said, you can never hurt me, and good God, sorry guys, and he said, I only feel you, like, that was intense, okay? And again, gosh, it's the love stories that get me, guys. I'm such a girl when it comes to this sort of thing, even though I'm not usually that girly, but man, it's just, okay, whew. I mean, when she's holding Thanos back, and she's trying really, really hard to destroy that Mind Stone, knowing she's essentially killing the love of her life. Gosh, what an internal conflict. And then, oh, the poor girl She does it, and she's like, all right, great. And Thanos comes over and he tries to relate himself to her, first of all. Like, oh, I've given up so much today, you know, relating to him killing Gamora. And it's like, shut up, basically is what you want to say to him. Like, let the girl mourn for a minute. You're nothing like her. And then he turns back time, and then he kills Vision. She has to see Vision die twice, okay? And then, you know, all of it was for naught, right? So she destroyed the Mind Stone, and it meant nothing. So she had to kill the love of her life for nothing, right? She might as well have sat there and held him as Thanos killed him, and they had a couple more moments together. I mean, so ridiculous. So emotional. So amazing. Great writing. I mean, obviously they had to do a specific order of the stones that they totally planned out perfectly, right? He had to have the time stone by the time he got to go get the Mind Stone. But, oh my God, poor Scarlet, Scarlet Witch. Poor, oh my gosh. To watch the love of her life die twice. Right in a row, right back to back. No wonder when everyone started disappearing, you could tell she just welcomed it, right? She welcomed leaving. She was like, I think she was very happy that she was one of the ones to disappear, okay? For her, it was mercy. Which brings me to my last 3 emotional moments, okay? Number 3, when Bucky disappears. Bucky and Steve just finally found each other again, right? They're so happy to see each other. I mean, they're best friends, guys. They're best friends. The fact that Bucky walks out and says, Steve, as he disappears, says a lot, I think. I love that they had him coming to Steve about it. And that was one of the hardest moments, you know. That's the first person you see really disappear. And, man, well, I have hope that everyone who disappeared, turned to ash, whatever you want to call it, will be back. I really do. It's still so hard to watch. And especially it being Bucky, and especially it being Bucky in front of Cap. That was rough, okay? And he's the first one, and you're like, oh gosh. And I did not expect as many people to disappear, as many of our main heroes to disappear as they did. Number 2, when Spider-Man begs for his life. This is probably the most emotional moment in the entire movie for me. The mom inside me, it like pulls at my mom's strings and my heartstrings. I can't even, I'm gonna cry thinking about it. When he's holding on to Tony and he's like, sir, I don't want to go, I don't want to go, I don't want to go. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. Of all the people, this poor kid, you know, he should have, he's like, I'm sure he's thinking I should have just stayed on the bus today. Like, why did I get myself involved in this? Which, it's just, oh my God, it was so hard to watch. And poor Tony, right? He's like, oh God. Because he had already said before, you know, if you get killed, that's going to be on me. And so I think it's hard for Tony. It's hard for Peter. Poor Spider-Man. Gosh, he just wants to be a hero, right? He just wants to help people. He's just a kid. He's just a kid, okay? And he has to disappear, and just seeing him as a kid, like all the others kind of went, I don't want to say went peacefully because they were upset about it, but I mean, you could tell it was a kid. He was just scared. He was terrified, right? Others are like, oh, what's happening? Or, oh, I feel weird, or something is happening, you know? And he's just like, I don't want to go, I don't want to go, I don't want to go. It's like, I don't want you to go either, Spider-Man. Oh gosh, I mean, I think he'll be back. I'm sure he'll be back, but man, that's a hard one, guys. It's an emotional scene. Number 1, the after credit scene. This is an emotional scene because number 1, it's very, very sad, but it's also gives you hope and excitement, and you're like, okay, here's the silver lining, right? Here's the silver lining in the movie. So we see Maria Hill and Nick Fury, and they're driving, and a car crashes into them because essentially they find out the driver has disappeared. The driver is one of those people. Maria Hill disappears, and that's a little hard. When Nick disappears, that was really, really tough for me because he's so iconic, and, you know, he's been through all the movies, and that was a hard one, okay? A lot of the Avengers, if you notice, that we're left with are like the original Avengers, right? So we've got Iron Man still, we've got Cap still, we've got Thor still, we've got Bruce Banner still, we've got Black Widow still. I mean, these are all major players that we've come to know and love over the last 10 years and 18 movies, okay? Well, Nick Fury really is one of those, right? He's someone who's been around, basically, he's been around from the beginning. So a lot of the people who disappeared were people that were introduced later on, right? Introduced after the opening, after the beginning. So to see Nick go was that was really, really hard. That was hard for me. But then when you see that he gets the call out to none other than Captain Marvel, that was just pure excitement. Like, yes! I mean, people cheered in the theater that I was in at the world premiere, but also on opening night. It's a great way to bring her in. I know we're going to have the Captain Marvel movie next year, and then she should be a major player, I'm imagining, in Avengers 4. I really think she'll be a major player. Watching all the Guardians disappear was really hard for me too, and basically everyone we saw disappear was tough. But the two that really, really got me, like I said, were Bucky and Spider-Man. They were just very emotional moments. Avengers Infinity War also has a lot of humor in it. It's a great movie. I loved it. As a Marvel comic book reader, I loved it. As a Marvel movie fan, I loved it. As a movie fan in general, I loved it. I think it's a fantastic movie. I think it's going to go down as one of the best superhero movies of all time. I really do. That is until Avengers 4 comes out next year. Comment below letting me know what your most emotional moment of Avengers Infinity War was. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.